Alright, this is a wiring update on the 97 Chevy Silverado K1500 5.3 LS swap. This is what's left of the original engine harness, and pretty much the only wires we're gonna need to do this swap. So once again, the engine harness is integrated into the fuse box, so that's got to stay. It just makes life easier. This is the firewall plug right by the fuse box on the driver's side. So all your gauges, power and grounds to the computer and stuff kind of go through here. I've removed all the wires that used to belong to old sensors we're not going to need because we have all that stuff already on the 5.3 harness. So just to make life easier, I removed all the wires and I left what is going to get transferred over to the 5.3 computer. So orange is power, pink is ignition, this is, let's see, brown is the check engine light, then there's the serial data, one for the ABS and one for the actual powertrain computer. I left the under hood light wiring just to kind of keep it stock, and this plug goes through the firewall on the passenger side. Again, some of the, like a lot of the engine controls are integrated into that, so that's got to stay. So the harness got really slim, so that's good. Cleans things up very nice. I left the original alternator plug because it's the same as the 5.3 alternator, so that wire actually runs into the firewall plug. So it was just going to be a mess. Instead of cutting and splicing the wires, I just left this one because it's going to plug in and it's going to function like normal. This is the oil pressure sensor connector. The early 5.3s, 99, 2000, 2001, and some 2002s actually use the same exact sensor that comes on the 97 Vortec engines, and they'll work the gauge like factory, so that's why I left that there. So I'm gonna actually remove that from the 5.3 harness along with the alternator plug. As far as the coolant temp sensor goes, I left the original connector for the coolant temp sensor because the 5.3 coolant temp sensor that's on the driver's side head cannot run the gauge. So what I did was installed the original 97 coolant temp sensor on the passenger side head. There's just a plug you got to remove, and there's an adapter that you got to screw into the head. You can just find it on eBay and just plug that in. So these are all the wires I removed from the Vortec 5.7 harness. Transmission connector for all the shift solenoids and all that stuff. Don't need that because the 5.3 harness already has that. And the usual like map sensor, throttle position sensor, spider injector connector, all that stuff is going away. Since this is a four-wheel drive truck, it does come with this four-wheel drive sub harness, which I am going to keep so that the four-wheel drive stuff works. It plugs into the main engine harness through this plug, and I believe the vehicle speed sensors run off the transfer case because I did not see a speed sensor in the transmission. I believe that's how it's run on the four-wheel drive trucks, and I recognize these two wires. I know these are speed sensor wires, so that's why I kept this from the original harness, and I'm not going to throw it away because I'm probably going to have to pin this into the 5.3 computer. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the O2 sensors yet because these use this weird sub harness for two O2 sensors. So I know that this truck uses the 4-pin flat O2 sensor connector, which some of the early 5.3s did use, but this engine harness happens to have the square 4-pin connectors. So I might switch them over just because this truck already has working O2 sensors, and there's really no need to buy, you know, more O2 sensors for no reason when these are working. So I'll probably just switch the connector over, because I do know that the early 5.3s use that 4-pin flat connector anyways. So we'll see how that works, and I'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, this is the original harness stripped down, ready to get merged with the 5.3 harness.